Oh my gosh, I know that.
Oh my gosh. Somebody made that. Who would have done such a
Who would
thing?
have done that? I recognize that meme. I think the person who made that meme might be on the show tonight.
I really hope he doesn't sue me for putting that on the screen. Please. That would be
Like,
really awkward.
how did that get there?
Awkward.
That was good, Brad.
Hey, Kellen. How you
Hey,
doing?
Brad. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
It's been a week.
Has been a week, right?
That means we got to talk about some stuff.
We have some things we need to talk about.
I don't really know what that stuff is going to be, but oh boy, do we need to talk about it.
We have discussions. We have things that we have definitely planned. As we were discussing before the show, I think everyone assumes that this show is much more put together than it is, which says something about how well the two of us do when we're just winging it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I do technically have a list of potential things to talk about. Many of them are really dumb, but it is a list that exists.
Brad,
sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't.
As we learned last week, you and I both happen to be on the same level of asking a very poignant question, and yet here we are. We thought that was going to end us, and the pineapple pizza debate did not end the show. There's still a lot of tension between the two of us, though.
It came really close. I mean, we haven't really spoken on camera since then.
It's true.
It's been a week of silence.
Yes. Jordan did try to step in our Snapchat group to try and see if we could mend it, but that didn't help. So.
He tried to smooth things over. But, with time heals most things, at least. We'll just have to see how it goes. But for now, just sort of let it simmer down.
Yeah.
We got like some people in the chat, and we have a very unprofessional host who didn't mute the stream that they're watching. That's you, Kellen. You didn't mute the other stream because I can still hear it.
I don't think there's anything really.
Yeah, I hear it.
I don't hear it.
I hear it echoing.
Oh dear.
Unless my computer has just decided to.
I was going to say, after last week and being super embarrassed, there's no window that's open. If you're hearing echoing, it's got to come from my mic at that point. Oh dear. Highly technical.
It's not bad or anything. It's just
okay.
It's
well, there you go.
But we got a bunch of people in the chat. We got Nick and Michelle and BJ.
BJ's here.
Helen, whoever that is.
Mm-hmm. Whoever that guy is. Very, very strange. It's nice to have people here. Thank you for joining us.
It is nice.
Yeah. Brad, is there a question you have for me? Thing you want to start us off with, or do we want to continue our wonderful banter? Oh, Carrie's here as well. Thank you, Carrie.
Oh, Carrie showed up. Excellent. I got a question for you. Actually, I spent a little bit of time a few days ago going through the first few streams that we did and updating the descriptions with like time codes for topics and everything. Right. And while I was doing that, I actually got to pay attention to the chat. Like the whole chat instead of just bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that Stacy had asked a question. I think it was on maybe the second stream. It might have been the first one. And so I'm going to ask you a question that Stacy actually asked. And hopefully she'll see this eventually because I don't think she's in the chat right now.
I don't think she's here today, but we'll have to let her know that we finally answered the question.
Yeah, but she asked, have you had any funny or strange run-ins with celebrities?
Have I ever had any funny or strange run-ins with celebrities?
Being a famous actor in at least a couple of movies that I'm aware of, and some other things I'm sure I haven't seen yet.
There is. I'll tell this story because it's you can go and you can watch it. One of the first movies that Netflix produced on their own was a documentary called The Comedians of Comedy. And it's Maria Bamford, Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn, and Zach Galifianakis, the four of them touring from San Francisco. I think they started in Seattle and they worked their way down to San Francisco. I knew Patton, and I knew he was going to be going through, and so we followed with the crew, and we went to all the shows, and I got to meet Zach. And Zach Galifianakis is one of the strangest and most funny, strange, weird people. And to like be in a van and hanging out with him, and then every single night going to their shows and being able to be a part and seeing that those four people who are now like enormous parts of the sort of comedy community, to see them like originate in that sort of documentary is really fun. If you go and you watch the documentary, you will see me as a very young, excited, would be wanting to be comedian, watching these people perform. You can hear me laugh, in my very big dumb laugh, quite a bit.
Excellent.
There's a lot of scenes where we're sort of like lurking in the background, sort of as sort of an inside joke, which is really great. There's some very fun sort of montages with them where we're sort of walking around as well. I think that's like one of the fun ones that I can actually prove. I have a lot of other silly interactions. I don't have like a Bill Murray story. I don't have like one of those famous, like, will Bill Murray like tackles you in a park and tickles you and says, no one's going to believe you.
Sure. Bill Murray knocked me out and tossed me in the trunk of a car. And that's where I woke up. Yeah.
I think that's one where I can actually say I spent some time with these people and had a great time. I know I have a personal friend with Dan Mintz who plays Tina on Bob's Burgers, because his wife and I were very close, and so I met Dan when he was up and coming and got to spend a lot of time with him before Tina took off. And their kids and my kids are friends, so that's really fun. And he's such a fun sort of person. I'm trying to think about run-ins though. I'm like, not like people I know, like run-ins.
Right.
I guess this is the strangest one. The last time I was in New York, I was at the airport and I grabbed what I thought was my bag. It wasn't my bag. It was Bill Bellamy's bag. And I handed Bill Bellamy his suitcase and I said, "You got great taste in luggage." And he laughed and walked away.
Nice. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think that's the only run-in I think I've had. I'm lucky enough to have been in Chicago at a time where so many people were also here and went off and did really great things. And it's nice to know them and nice to be like, oh, I did a show with them, or, oh, we wrote on a show, and doing other fun stuff like that. We should just have a whole night where I get to tell stories about people I knew.
That would be a lot of fun, especially for me, because I won't have to talk anywhere near as much, and that would be great.
That would be great. Stacey, that is a very, very fun question. I'm sorry that you're not here, but what we'll do, we'll find this little clip, we'll send it to her, and she'll see it, and maybe she'll come back. Absolutely. I think Stacey was like the first person who like stuck with us the whole show, right? Because she, like, that first show, she's like through all of the D&D stuff, through everything.
Yeah, the whole whatever beta episode, whatever you want to call it, proto episode, the testing phase of seeing if this was a thing that we were even going to do. And she was here for the whole, almost 2 hours, I think.
Yeah. All right. So Nick says he can hear the echo. Now I'm worried. Let me check my audio.
Okay.
Echo cancellation is on. I don't make
it definitely. I mean, technologically, who knows? But it shouldn't be coming from me because I'm wearing earbuds. And
I need to get the earbuds. I think I need to get something that can kind of plug in that way, just to absolutely to do it that way. Nick, I hope everyone's okay. I hope it's not distracting or bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible or anything. It's just like a little bit here and there. So it might just be picking up like from your speakers.
Yeah,
just
maybe
a little bit.
Turn the volume down a little bit on the speakers and see if that helps a little bit. So I'm feeling a little hard of hearing.
Yeah, see, some people are hearing it a little bit and some people aren't. So it's got to just be like a speaker.
It's just that.
That's just a little tiny bit.
There we go. Well, this is how people know it's live, that we're figuring it out as we go. So,
and how they know that we're not professional. It's
fine. Brad,
yes.
I don't know if I asked you this question or not last week, so if I did, I apologize. I will rescind my question. Here is my question for you. If animals could talk, which animal would be the rudest?
Oh, jeez.
I know that's a hypothetical, but if animals could talk, which animal do you think would be the most rude animal if it could actually speak?
Like a drop bear or something.
A drop bear?
Something Australian.
Something Australian. I forgot. Yes, the Canadians and the Australians. Yes, your long feud.
Sure.
Who is the least liked of the provinces? Yes.
Michelle says the lion. I don't know. The lion.
Are lions rude?
Lions, I mean, at least male lions for the most part, are lazy as much as they possibly can be, right?
Yeah.
And unless they like need to defend their territory, they essentially lay around and look tough while the female lions go and like hunt and all that.
Also, I learned that female lions, when they're in heat, can have sex like 19 times in an hour. And I saw it on Reddit where it was like a female lioness was like essentially chasing after the lion and like biting his balls. Yikes. And like this lion was like so sad because the lion's like, I'm trying, honey. I'm trying. And
I just need a sandwich and a nap. Like,
just please, baby. I know you need this. You just give me a second to recharge here.
There's no lion Viagra. It's you just got to wait it out sometimes.
Yeah.
19. That seems excessive.
But also think about this. The scientists who had to be like, no, that lioness is in heat. She can have that lioness knows how to fuck. And she wants it. She needs it from her man. And if she's not gonna get it, she's gonna go bite his balls very, very hard. I will see if I can find the article. It's very funny.
That's I mean they had to write that down. That's 17. Okay.
17.
Still going. Jeez. 18.
18. And also they probably had to come back and then write a paper on it too. They had to be like, look, we did the scientific data. We had this theory. We had to prove it. Now we're going to go back out in the field. We're going to do some grant writing to see if we can get more funding.
They write the paper and then they spend even more time trying to figure out what the title should be, so that it doesn't sound like perverted nonsense. The titles of papers like that are always just hilarious.
Yes. Having written,
Carrie, that's just like her. Okay,
that's like me. Just saying.
Right. I don't think I'm at Carrie's level. I don't think that's intense.
It's intense.
It's intense. I would need some rest.
I would need 19 times in an hour. I would probably
need a lot of drugs.
A lot, exactly. I was going to say, I was like, that's a lot of Quaaludes and a lot of coffee. Yeah, that's something else.
Koalas, yeah, Nick is saying koalas probably pretty rude.
Oh yeah, koalas are very, very rude. But koalas are kind of like pandas. You know, they're just like they're these sort of like lazy drunk jerks.
Koalas. Those are the ones that basically all have syphilis, right?
Yes. I don't think it's syphilis. I think it's herpes. I think it's herpes.
Oh no, chlamydia. That's what.
Chlamydia. There it is.
That's what I knew. It was something. It was in there somewhere. Chlamydia. Yeah. Damn. Carrie is trying to reign champion here.
Yeah. It's not a competition, ladies.
Maybe it is.
That's wonderful. It's the 21st century. I think it's great.
Koalas would probably be pretty rude.
I would say koalas.
I'm on board with that.
Because you think about like cats, people think cats are sort of jerks. And it's like, well, I actually think cats are just misunderstood. I think they would be a little snotty, but I don't think they would be rude. When I think about rude, I'm thinking like people who like don't have manners, right? Maybe a horse. Maybe a horse would be rude, right?
Maybe. Like a wild horse. I could see that.
Wild horse seems pretty arrogant.
Yeah.
Brad, do you have a favorite animal?
A favorite?
Do you have a favorite animal?
I don't know if I do.
You don't strike me as someone who like is drawn to animals. Like, oh, I love sharks. You don't strike me as someone who's like a lot of shark artwork in your house.
No, not really. I did used to ride horses when I was young.
Well, there you go.
But I can't really think of an animal as like, oh yeah, that's an animal that I love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like ferrets. Ferrets are cool.
Ferrets, there you go. Ferrets are fun.
What about you? Do you have a favorite animal?
I don't think I have. I like dogs a lot. I think if I had
dogs
to say
are good.
I would say dogs. I think dogs are really fantastic. Like I'm definitely one of those people where when I see a dog, I smile. Right? I'm always like, oh man, there's a dog. That's great. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, dogs are great. I like dogs a lot.
Dogs are great.
Yeah.
Man's best friend and all that.
There you go. All right, lay it on me, Brad. What do you got me? What do you got?
Let's see here.
Also, Brad, what are you drinking tonight?
I guess it's my usual now, Dr. Pepper and rum.
There you and rum. Oh, you moved to the rum. Oh, right, because you're drinking the Kraken now.
Going to the Kraken. I got to finish off this bottle. It's gonna need a fresh one soon.
I still can't believe I introduced this this concept of like, yeah, it's crack. Just have some Kraken, a little Coke Zero. It's great, and suddenly everyone's drinking the Kraken. I absolutely love it.
You did this, Kellen.
Mm-hmm.
It's your fault. And because of that, I got a really stupid one for you that I'm not even going to come up with. I'm going to let an AI Twitter bot come up with a question for you. Because there is a ridiculously stupid bot that just generates would you rather questions.
Okay.
And many of them make no sense. It is great. For example, Kellen, would you rather Street Fighter 2 or hardcore ramen?
Would I rather Street Fighter 2 or hardcore ramen?
Yes, whatever that means.
Okay, let's break down what hardcore ramen is. Okay.
Is that like serious, like from Japan, like a tiny little hole in the wall ramen place?
Or is hardcore ramen here? So we have two different routes. Either Street Fighter 2 is a type of ramen, and hardcore ramen is also a ramen shop. Which of the two ramen shops do I like more?
Sure.
Right?
Like a themed Street Fighter ramen shop.
Like a Street Fighter 2
or a BDSM ramen shop.
A Street Fighter 2 ramen shop sounds amazing, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm going to have the Blanca. No, I'm going with the Ryu. I'm going with the the guy from India, Gandhi. This is now I'm a bad video game person. Excuse me. Or is hardcore ramen a video game?
Could be. Like
I'm going to go with hardcore ramen of the two. I'm not very good at Street Fighter 2.
It's one of those like cooking games, like Cooking Mama, but hardcore ramen.
Cooking Mama is fantastic. Cooking Mama is I like those weird sort of cooking sims. Though they're stressful. They're really stressful, right? Like
it can be for sure.
Like it's did you ever play it's Overcooked? Like the little Overcooked is a great game unless you've worked in kitchens and had to deal with that shit, and then it is stressful. Very, very stressful. Play Overcooked with your children, and you will see a side of yourself come out to be like, no, you cut the vegetables and you bring them.
I can't play that stuff with my wife because she goes completely berserk.
Oh, really? The rage.
Which is fair. That is what it does to people.
Yes.
But she is definitely in that category of like she can't deal with it. She needs to be organized. She needs everyone to like do their task that she is assigning at the right times. So it's not a good situation.
Not a good situation.
Marriage-wise, it's not a good situation.
I understand. Brad, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
I don't know this about you, so I didn't want to assume. Brad, did you attend a collegiate or schooling after your primary schooling?
Not only have I attended one, I have attended 3 different ones for three different programs.
3 different programs. Okay.
Ask me how many degrees I have.
Brad, how many degrees do you have? Excellent.
But I have paid off the pointless student loans.
There you go.
There's that.
There you go. My question for you then, Brad, is what is the highlight of your college experience in terms of the 3 experiences you had?
The highlight of the college experience. Jeez. I mean, the easy access to drugs and alcohol.
Right. That was a benefit. I don't know if that's the highlight though.
That's one of the reasons why that number of degrees is 0. But yeah, that's the highlight of it. Oh, maybe getting press passes to things when I was in photojournalism so that I could just get behind the scenes,
Okay.
places
That's
for a
fun.
few months. So that was interesting.
Very nice.
Got behind the scenes in a couple of, concerts and weird lecture events, and got into places I wouldn't normally be able to afford to get into. So that was fun. But I know you did some collegial activities, and you actually got something out of it.
I did. I definitely attended college, and I I didn't want to go to college.
Tyson, that's yeah. It's a little harsh but fair. Tyson.
Harsh but fair. That's Tyson. Harsh but fair.
It's true.
Also, Tyson had a good definition of what hardcore ramen is. I like that. I would be very into Tyson's definition of hardcore ramen.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I did some of that in college too.
Yeah, some of that. Yeah, a lot of that in college. A lot of bricks.
Sprinkle the stuff on the just cold, hard ramen brick, whatever you call it, and just eat it up.
Yeah. I didn't want to go to college, so I took courses. I got a philosophy degree. I did all of the strange, obscure avant-garde theater that I absolutely could, because that was what I wanted to do that way, and I had an absolute blast doing that. It still took me 6 years to graduate, and I took 2 years off so I could tour and play music. So it's tough. Like for me, when I think about my highlight of my college experience, I don't think about college. It's about all the ancillary things. It's about all the things that just happened during that time. There wasn't like I wrote my dissertation, or, I did this. It's like, no, it was all the other fun stuff that I did that wasn't really college related, but it was that time. It was all that experience.
I feel you. Yeah. I don't have a lot of very specific memories of actual college things, like within the college experience.
Mm-hmm.
I was very drunk for most of it. That was part of the problem and part of the fun. So, there's balance there.
There you go. It's a balance that way.
But yeah, that's the extracurricular stuff.
Yes, it's all the extracurricular. Yes, that's really what it is. Brett, I have something I wanted to show you. It's kind of speaking of college, if I could. Is that possible?
Sure.
I gotta move some things around here for a second. Let's go to that, and then I'm gonna share my screen with you real quick. So, Brad, we know each other well, and you and I are children of the internet, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We've experienced the internet in certain sort of ways. Brad, one thing I know about you that I really like about you is you're very good at memes. You're very, very good at memes.
Well, thank you. I will try to accept that compliment without my imposter syndrome making me shrivel up and leave the stream.
No,
perfect.
Brad, I think you understand memes much better than I think even I realize. And I started doing some thinking a couple weeks ago about memes, because there was something about how you communicate with memes that I find very interesting. There's the meme, and then there's the meme behind the meme. There's the reason you're posting the meme. So
the inner Juan of the meme.
Yeah. I decided to put a little thing together for us. So
okay, let's see. I should be able to. There we go.
So this is what we're working on tonight. We're looking at memes and their relation to the unconscious. Again, this is by me, Dr. Kellen Brad. In fact, I'm not a real doctor. So
fair enough.
Brad, what I wanted to kind of ask you is, what is a meme?
A meme? Well, Richard Dawkins would say a meme. So yeah, it started with Richard Dawkins, whatever book about memetics and how ideas spread. But it's essentially an internet meme, as I am sure you are attempting to define, is like silly picture jokes that usually use pop culture references, something to make some kind of joke or a reference to something.
Right. Yeah. This is pulled from Wikipedia. A meme is an idea or a behavior or a style that becomes a fad and spreads by means of imitation from person to person within a culture and often carries symbolic meaning representing a particular or phenomenon of theme, right? We can agree that this is the larger boundaries of what a meme can be, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Excellent. All right. So behind a meme, most memes are kind of funny, right? Like the purpose of a meme is to sort of be funny, but also be honest in a certain place, right? Would you agree or disagree?
Sure. A lot of them are funny. I mean, some of that is probably because funny things tend to spread faster. So
absolutely,
the funny ones spread more, which means you see more of them. But yeah, they tend to be funny.
There's an entertainment act of it. So is the question I'm going to ask is a meme just a joke, right? Right. Where in a certain sort of way, like you might say, hey, like a meme sort of spreads the way sort of a joke spreads or an idea sort of spreads that way. There is a virality to it, correct?
Sure, yeah.
So there's a guy around the turn of the 20th century who says jokes like dreams and slips of the tongue bear the traces of repressed desire. Brad, do you know who said that?
I don't know for sure, but that sounds a little Freudian to me.
Boy, that does sound a little Freudian, doesn't it? Brad, one of my favorite pieces of Freud, again, Freud, a little passe, a little hard to understand sometimes, but his take on jokes and their relation to the unconscious are fantastic. He really tries to break down this idea of the same way dreams are our desires that are pent up and sort of their ways in which we're representing our deep sort of desires. That in some ways, I think memes kind of serve a similar sort of purpose. That the way we look at memes, there's some sort of deeper understanding within ourselves. So tonight, I wanted to take us through some different sort of memes here. So let's look at this meme for a second. Brad, what is this meme?
That meme, I don't know what the name of that meme is off the top of my head, but it's basically used to signify when someone really doesn't understand what the hell something is. Usually the butterfly represents some random idea, and the guy is asking if it's something completely different.
Is this something random, right?
Yeah.
So if we're looking at memes, we could say, like, let's look at this, right? Let's look at this joke right here. We have IG follow request from 16-year-old girl, 24-year-old hardcore dude, and the meme ends with, is this a new girlfriend? Right?
Right.
Does this speak to you, Brad, in some ways?
I mean, not specifically on a personal level in that particular case.
But you understand the concept here, right?
I understand the concept of what the meme is trying to represent.
Yes. So what do you think, what is the deeper, if we want to even get into a Freudian analysis, what is the deeper desire of this meme? What is the person who created this meme, what was their subconscious trying to convey as they were creating it?
I'm going to go with like dudes are creepy as kind of the main focus.
Brad, I think we're going to find a theme that most memes, the theme is, boy, aren't dudes creepy?
Sure.
All right.
So I can imagine that would be a common.
Yeah. So any slightly uncomfortable physical sensation, my body, is this death?
See, that I relate to a lot more.
Right. So let's talk about why you relate to this meme, Brad.
Because that is a state that I am constantly in. Any new uncomfortable sensation or pain, I have to ask, well, is that going to go away? Or is that the way that it is now?
Is this my life now?
This the new normal? Or is this going to go away in a couple of days?
Yes, this feels very real to me. The slight physical sensations being like, is my body just feeling, is this the rest of my life now?
Right.
So look this. Here we go. This is a classic right here, right? Being called mean names on Twitter. Conservatives, classical liberals, libertarians. Is this an excuse to become a white nationalist? Brad, what is the meaning behind this meme?
I imagine the meaning would be that a lot of politicians are like bad and tend to project, their own ideals into whatever they are consuming and try to twist it into whatever narrative they're trying to go for. In this case, the meme creator, I guess, thinks that they all want to be white nationalists.
Sure. But what do you even think about the meme creator? The meme creator almost probably is dealing with their own sort of issues, right? Maybe dealing with their own being called out on Twitter in a certain sort of way. I mean, it's a generalization, correct? Like, it's hard to really believe that being called up names would be anything, but there's some deeper meaning behind this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, someone was mean to them.
Someone
about their political beliefs, I assume.
Yes. This is a classic. This is one of my favorites. Any physical contact with another male, straight boys. Is this gay?
Sure. Very, very repressed.
Very
sort
repressed.
of feeling.
Extremely repressed. The most repressed ever. The first time I saw this one, I was like, yeah, there we go. Absolutely. Right? Any physical contact.
Any physical contact.
Is this gay?
Super gay.
Is this gay? No.
I'm going to vote no on is any physical contact.
Wonderful, Brad. Wonderful.
Just to be clear.
Fantastic. And then this one, this is a little strange, Brad. Let's talk about
we're evolving. We're evolving
here. Yes. We have a Naboo Star Cruiser. We have a young Anakin Skywalker, still technically a slave child on the desert planet of Tatooine.
Sure.
Is this pod racing?
I mean, it was in the movie.
It was in the movie, Brad.
It was a very, I don't know, classic seems like a weird way to describe the dialogue of Phantom Menace, but it was a well-known line, I guess, from many of the trailers and things where he yells, "This is pod racing." This is pod racing, and this is where we start to see memes within memes, right? Like this is where like the culture and the ideas within the meme start to like. If you hadn't seen Phantom Menace, this makes no fucking sense, right? It doesn't make a lick of sense if you don't know what's going on. BJ, resident Star Wars guy, perfect meme.
Yeah, perfect meme. All right, so let's look at case 2. One of my favorites, right?
It's a good one.
So good.
Very good one.
We've got the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we've got a cat sitting at a table. And the fact that we take these two disparate ideas and we blend them together to create a narrative divided by this small space right here, it is excellent storytelling. So let's talk about this meme right here, Brad. Break this one down for me.
All right, so
6-year-old girl already saying that all boys are jerks. 6-year-old me eating a red Lego to see if it tastes the same as the green one.
Sure. I would say that says a lot about what the meme creator thinks is the necessary maturity level of children, male and female, and the differences in that maturity. And I'm guessing there was probably a little girl that called somebody a jerk. More than likely. So let's look at our next one. And you know what? To be fair, a lot of 6-year-old boys kind of jerks.
Most 6-year-old boys are jerks. And this is certainly not to defend 6-year-old boys, but I kind of believe that most men are completely useless until they're about age 27. At age 27, I feel like men finally start realizing, oh, I need to not fuck the world so hard. I can actually do some good. And if you suddenly are not, if you're under 27 and that is not your ideology, you are so different than most men.
So I've got about 22 years left on my son, is what you're saying, before he becomes a real person.
Yes.
Great.
And again, Brad, this one I saw, I felt like this one spoke to you. My mom telling me how useless I am, 12-year-old me playing Minecraft. Let's talk about the deeper meaning behind this.
Sure. I mean, I there was no Minecraft when I was 12.
That is true. That is
not a
true.
thing. I was probably playing like Super Mario 2 or something by then.
But Brad, there are plenty of kids
yeah,
out there who have been playing Minecraft where this is their experience. This is their everyday existence, that they were a 12-year-old and now they're probably in their early 30s, maybe their late 20s.
Sure, they're probably a computer programmer or a game developer or maybe just a professional streamer or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're making more money than their mom ever did. And
it is ridiculous to think about how much money people who play video games online on YouTube make. It is
the successful ones, at least.
The successful.
There's plenty that aren't making any money.
Oh yes, most of
the ones that are making money. There's money to be made for sure.
This one I really enjoy, Brad. This one feels we're starting to get a little psychological here. Me explaining my cat that me explaining my cat that I won't tell anyone if he speaks, my cat pretending he can't speak. Right, there's some magical thinking here that the cat can speak.
Sure.
It's pretending that it can't, but the cat is very aware of what is going on.
Sure. That's very psychological.
It's very psychological.
I enjoy that a lot.
The emotion here. There's so much emotion, the accusation, our friendship here, and yet this cat who's just like, I am just sitting.
I'm just sitting here like a perfectly normal cat eating at a fancy restaurant.
Absolutely.
Top of plate.
Absolutely.
What's weird about this situation? Of course I can't talk.
Of course I can't talk. Why would I talk? All right.
That's a good one.
What about this one? Wanda blaming Thanos for losing everything. Thanos. So here we have again, Brad, we have another layer here. If you don't know who Wanda is, and if you don't know who Thanos is, then this makes absolutely no sense to you, right?
Nope. But I like that one. It's good. Ambivalent Thanos.
Thanos
is a good time on a lot of memes.
And this is where we start to get to memes within memes, because this is a reference to this right here, right? Here we have Wanda. Here we've got Thanos. Brad, how do you feel about Wanda?
Wanda is fun. It's good. I like her new show.
Her new show's fantastic. And again, she's powerful, she's funny, she's sexy, she's all of these things. And here she
got a pretty raw deal, so she's pretty pissed at Thanos.
She's pissed. She got a raw deal. She deserves everything.
Absolutely.
And what is Thanos doing? I don't even know who you are, right?
Yeah. He just has no idea what her deal could even possibly be.
Right.
He's killing people on a planetary level and does not care about individual people in particular.
Again, now we're at this point, we're making a political statement. We have young Bernie Sanders supporters. You took everything from me. We got Joe Biden.
It's very, very political and fairly accurate, probably.
Extremely.
Unfortunately.
So now here we are with one of my favorites.
Sure.
You're familiar with this actor comedian here? Eric Andre?
Sure, yeah.
Him outside the White House, just trying to get in, let me in. This is a good meme, because we start to we're breaking apart the original context of what the show is, and we're playing around with it. So we have a bathroom door, toddlers, let me in. What do we think the deeper desire here within this creation of this meme is, Brad?
Well, someone has a kid, probably under 4 years old or so, with small enough hands to either fit under the bathroom door, like a horror movie, or bang on the door, depending on how the door is set, I guess. Because mine definitely did that. You see the little tiny fingers.
I was going to say, Brad, the moment you said the fingers underneath, I was like, I know exactly that Brad has had that experience.
Oh, yes. That is a personal, visceral set of memories that I have. And I'm guessing that the creator of this meme also had a somewhat similar experience.
There is a reality captured in this meme that is only being able to be experienced by someone who has a toddler.
Yes. You're either going to not care about that meme, or you'll be like, oh, I've been there.
Oh, I've been there.
That.
Right? Same thing with this. This one hits hard, right? When you finally turn 18 but realize that being an adult wasn't as cool as it seems.
Sure.
This one hits.
I still feel that 20 years after that situation has happened. Yeah, I am right there. Please let me go back to childhood.
I want to be a kid again.
I wish I could be a Toys R Us kid. If that
Oh my
was still a
gosh,
thing.
right? Brad, you in your country, you have pretty strict privacy laws that your government is not allowed to spy on you.
Sure.
Here in America, we do not. We absolutely do not. And so here we have the incognito mode, the FBI agent just wanting some of that sweet, sweet action.
Sure.
Trying to get through incognito mode. Like that's the thing that's going to stop someone from spying on you, right, Brad?
Seems technologically faulty
Yes.
as far as logic goes in that particular case, but the sentiment is there.
Isn't it so just the sweetness when someone says, "Oh, I'm just in incognito mode. There's no way anyone will know what I'm looking at." It's just like
that doesn't mean that, but okay.
That's what you want. There we go.
Yep.
Now, Brad, we're going to start getting a little, this is where memes start to change a little bit, where we start to say the deeper political desires.
Sure.
Brad, who was one of the founders of communism?
I think the meme is a little spoilery there. We'll have to go with Lenin. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, but we start to
from
mess
the
with
beginning
format
of communism.
now, right? We have the original format. We're now messing with the format. We're starting to have some poetry with the memes, right?
I like when memes start to like eat themselves and
go
Brad. Meta or start twisting into each other. Yeah, it's a good time.
Very good.
I enjoy this very much.
You're going to start liking where we're headed then. This one I feel like you and I could appreciate.
Sure.
Kingdom of Heaven.
I like it.
Rich Christians just trying to get in. Those rich Christians believing, hey, I'm a rich Christian. I should be able to get into the Kingdom of Heaven. Right, Brad? Heaven?
You would think, unless you read the Bible or whatever, and you would know that that's not a thing that would happen. Easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle or whatever. I can't remember that.
Absolutely, Brad. Yeah, absolutely.
The rich folks ain't going.
They're not getting in.
According to the Bible, anyway, a little whatever.
If you're going to read the Bible.
And just to sidetrack just slightly, BJ, technically, it might help with like your marriage, but it won't help against the FBI.
It'll help with sites tracking you.
Yeah.
Cookies.
It'll help with the cookies on your computer and your web history on your specific computer, but it won't help you with the FBI.
The FBI is tracking the rest of it. So, Brad, are you familiar with this meme?
I am familiar with this one. Yes.
Again,
it looks very familiar from the beginning.
From the beginning, right? We have the distracted boyfriend meme, right? And this one, again, there's such a story going on here. This is one of the best. So here we are. I felt like this would speak to both you and I. Unplayed, untouched games sitting in my Steam library meme and games on sale. Brad, have you had this experience before?
That hurts me physically, Kellen. I have a knot now in my chest of all the games just sitting in my Steam library that not only haven't I played, but I haven't even bothered installing.
Haven't even installed. The amount of humble bundles
replaying God of War instead of playing games that I could be playing but I haven't tried yet.
Absolutely, Brad. Yes. There's definitely the guilt of this meme is so real. And again, if you don't play video games, this meme over your head. If you play video games, this meme right here, chills. Absolute chills.
It's rough. It's viscerally painful to me. Absolutely. So many games.
Here we go. Now we're starting to mess with language. We're not using words. We're using images within images because we've been trained. We understand we need to move this way, right? Isn't this very interesting? And what's so fascinating about this meme is now we're almost reading this meme like it's a manga. We're reading it from the right to the left as opposed to the traditional way of left to right. Like we're really starting to blend our ideas about how are we understanding language. I absolutely love it. Here we go. We've got broccoli. We've got celery. We got pizza.
Yeah, you always go for pizza, and I don't blame him one bit for that.
That's all it is. That's all it is, Brad. Let's talk about abstract thinking, Brad. My girlfriend, who has just noticed Godzilla is destroying the city, me, A girl who has just given me a free lemon.
Sure.
Brad,
recontextualizing his facial expression and hers, I guess, with Godzilla.
right?
Just completely destroying the original meaning of the meme in a hilarious way. I like it. I am a fan of that.
It's so good. It's just the subtlety of that. Again, making these connections here. It's so good, right?
That's really good.
It's so good.
He does look like he just ate a lemon too.
He just ate a lemon.
Yeah.
I think this one right here, Brett, do you know who this character is?
I believe that would be Princess Peach.
Princess Peach. Yes. And Brad, who's this character here?
That one I don't know.
You don't know who this is?
I don't.
Brad, this is famous trans icon Bowsette. So let's talk about Bowsette for a second.
Okay, let's do that.
So this crown right here, Brad, in one of the recent Mario games, is a crown that if Toad,
sure, yeah,
if Toadette gets it, she turns into a princess like Princess Peach.
Okay,
and the
yes,
internet,
yes.
The internet
I didn't know the name for that character, but yes.
If this logic makes sense, then if Toadette becomes Princess Peach, what happens if Bowser puts this on? And then Bowser becomes this sort of very dominant, thick, excitable female trans character who is very sexualized and is very domineering on both the Mario brothers and everybody else. And they go even further to say, well, what happens if like a Boo wears it? There's Boozette. What happens if Wario wears it? What happens if Waluigi wears it? It is
Yikes.
Fascinating. And if folks at home watching, if you want to open an incognito tab and type in Bowsette, sure. I promise you it will be worth the experience just to see the type of art that people make for a character that does not exist.
Maybe, Tyson. Maybe that is why they call her Princess Peach.
Maybe that is why they call her Princess Peach.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the ass.
That might be canonical. I'm not sure.
It might be. It might be. All I know is that Mario seems to not be interested in what Peach is serving. Sure. Peach keeps trying to serve him cake. Seems like Mario's more interested in that star, right?
Sure.
And I am talking about that star.
You can say anal, Kellen. It's fine.
So, Brad, let's talk about this then. If we're going to talk about kink, if we're going to talk about sex, now we're going to blend memes for a second. So here we are. Also me, the internet, my kinks I have yet to discover.
Sure.
Right? What's the desire going on here, Brad?
The desire or explanation of that I guess would be that the internet has a little bit of everything. What is it? Rule 34?
Rule 34, Brad.
Anything that can be sexualized, it exists on the internet already.
It's
or
here.
If not, then it's in the middle of being created. And so if you're on the internet, you're bound to run into some things that you didn't know existed, but somehow give you those funny feelings.
They give
and
you
then
those
you can't stop
like,
thinking about that new thing that you found.
I hope that everyone watching tonight sees this and says, I didn't know I needed to see this tonight, but I'm glad I did.
Sure. That's the internet. The internet is full of stuff that will definitely go, 5 minutes ago, I didn't know that existed. And now I kind of want to masturbate to it. That's weird.
And again, we have this interchange, the also me and also me, this the division. We've got the id and the ego. The id very, very interested in what's happening here. The ego being like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Like 5 seconds after finishing, you're just disgusted with your new discovery.
My gosh, absolutely, Brad. And then guess what? The internet just disappears, and then this is you, and you're like,
the internet don't judge.
Internet don't judge.
It'll just feed you the next thing. Oh, that's disgusting to you now? You liked it 5 minutes ago. It's disgusting now. Okay, here, have a new thing.
Let's keep feeding you this wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice.
Freud just rolled over.
So Brad, We've seen a lot of things. Now let's look at memes within memes.
Sure.
Here we have, Brad, what does this represent in meme culture? This is a very clear icon in meme culture.
Yeah, sort of small brain idea versus big brain idea, sort of, dumb thing versus smart thing, or
this represents
some variation of that.
We've got me, and then we have this here, the rabbit hole going in further and further.
Sure. It's one of those memes that starts eating itself, which I very much enjoy.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. So Brad, what is a meme? Now that
a meme is a good time, Kellen. That's what it is.
In relation to the subconscious, what is a meme?
It's a good time. I think was it Tyson that said a meme is just a GIF that's not animated, which I thought was pretty funny. Technically can be true, but it's not always true.
It's not always true. Well,
a meme is good. It's a way to express an idea or emotion or set of concepts in a sort of more abstract and usually comedic sort of way, I would say.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Brad. A young philosopher saw me making this presentation and said, "They're like little pranks, but better."
Sure, I can see that.
And that was my son.
Nice.
Who saw me making this and was very confused what memes were and why I was doing this instead of playing video games with him today. But I felt like sharing this. They're like little pranks, but better, because to me, this is what a meme is.
Yeah. It's a way to like force someone to think about a concept, using references to other things that they might have to make it easier to understand or just funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done with that. Little
Brad, thank you for coming to my PowerPoint presentation, and everyone else. Thank you for putting up with my PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, everyone thinks that your son has it handled here. Everyone's on board with that. Yeah, that was a good time.
That was a very good time. That was a very, very good time. And again, Brad, I'm glad that you enjoyed that. As always, the question for me is, how long will Brad let me indulge myself while I make slideshows? And I appreciate that every time you're game.
I might not always understand, but I will always enjoy whatever the chaos brings.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Good time.
Brad, you got a question for me?
Oh, I got all kinds of questions for you.
Well, then lay some questions on me. Let's get into it.
Do you want like a silly one, a dumb one, a potentially conversation driving one?
Let's start with silly. Let's go dumb, and then let's go conversation.
All right, Kellen. Clowns, funny or scary?
Oh golly, I don't find clowns scary. I have to admit this, Brad. I for a hot second almost went to clown school. I thought clown school was something I could do. This is a story I don't think I tell very often. Brad, do you know, if I say Patch Adams, do you know who Patch Adams is?
Sure.
Yeah. I met Patch Adams' brother, and he runs a commune in the northeast part of the United States that trains people in terms of doing clown, that trains people in physical comedy that way. He came and saw a show that I had done in college, and he was very, very impressed with me and a couple of my fellow actors, and he convinced us to come out and to join him. And I thought about it for a good week, about going out and dropping everything and going to clown college and living on this commune and having a very pastoral life. But I realized that it felt a little bit like a cult. And I said, I don't know if I want to be a clown who's also part of a cult. I'm interested in learning about how to do clown stuff, about having to be physically funny and having that experience. But I don't know if I want to go live in a cult to do that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Did you have a clown name picked out?
My clown name was Bo, and I didn't have the traditional sort of Ringling Brothers sort of clown sort of look. Like, this is more the sort of Art Nouveau European style clown. I had an act where again, sort of white face paint, sort of like the kind of stark colors, the black and the white, sort of kind of frills that way. And my entire act as a clown was I could not pour a glass of water. The act of failure was constantly about me silently struggling to pour myself a glass of water. And the act was about 15 minutes long. And I was very pleased that I could make me failing at pouring a glass of water last for 15 minutes. It is something I'm very, very proud of. And I was just known as Bo. I was just Bo the Clown. Nice. That was very, very fun that way. But I don't find clowns scary. But I understand why some people do, because there are, I think, people who have like malice in their heart who put on clown makeup and do other shit. And I think it's less about the clowns and more about them being.
Well, you say malice, and I have to put Hannah's comment up here. Hannah.
Oh, well,
very well-known TikTok part-time clown.
Oh, part-time clown, full-time kink goddess.
Yeah. Hannah's great.
Oh, she's the best.
And it's not surprising to me that she's super.
Oh, no, absolutely. But Hannah embraces that energy, right? When I almost think it was interesting for Hannah to say clowns, good or bad. To me, I think Hannah would almost accept the bad as the good.
Sure. Just a little bit evil. Yeah, she gravitates towards the evil side.
She does enjoy that.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
That sounds on brand for Hannah.
That's a good question, Brad. I like that question quite a bit. Brad, I got a question for you. What's your dream vacation setting?
Dream vacation setting? Somewhere just quiet. I just want quiet.
Do you want to be in nature? Do you want to be at the ocean? What's the setting? I understand you want to be quiet. What's the setting? What does the environment look like?
Maybe like on the ocean would be good. Little island getaway, with no one else around.
Do you want to be warm? Do you want to be cool?
Middle ground. I just room temperate. Just
room temperature water for me.
I'm boring, Kellen. You might have noticed by now.
That feels
my fantastical ideas are like, I just want to be left alone and have a comfortable place to sit.
I just want to be comfortable and left alone. I
want to be able to like read or play video games or whatever. Maybe get pizza delivered occasionally, and just left the hell alone. That would be
and I'm guessing, Brad, your family is not there. There's no one else there. It is just you.
Just me. Oh yeah,
just you.
Yeah, vacation is not a real vacation if there's other people around to take up my time.
You go, Brad. You go.
I'll do trips with the family. That's fun, but that's not a vacation in my brain.
Yeah.
How about you, Kellen?
I said this a little while ago. I think it's log cabin in the Rockies, clawfoot tub. Wood burning stove, big comfy bed, high speed internet, big old stack of books, great hi-fi system, and just me. Nice.
Time for that. The Rockies are nice.
The Rockies are
lots of great views. It's been a long time since I've been through the Rockies, but I have been a couple of times.
Yeah. Just that sort of high mountain air, and then a refrigerator just filled with food that I can cook for myself and just indulge that way. And just the best fucking coffee in the world.
Sure. Gotta have solid caffeine intake.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see. What else do I have?
All right. So what's this silly question then, Brad?
Silly question. Why are manholes round?
Why are manholes round?
Yeah. They could be any shape. Why are they all round? Why was round the shape that was chosen as the standard for manholes? I'm sure there's probably weird exceptions, but like generally, if you think about a manhole, it's going to be round. Right?
It's usually round. I would imagine the manhole is round because round is aesthetically pleasing, right? You think about a manhole being like a triangle or a trapezoid. It's the sharp edges, I think, your attention is drawn to it. It's the reason why in design thinking, it's the reason why a octagon is what a stop sign is. We're drawn to those sort of sharp spaces. Same thing with a triangle in terms of a warning sign. We're instantly drawn to those sort of places. But a circle is oddly forgettable that sort of way. So I imagine in terms of a blacktop, again, I'm taking this to that silly sort of place of like logically design it that way. I also think it's because if they were square, it would be harder for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to get out of a square. But the circle makes more sense in terms of if they're getting out, and then we got Michelangelo surfing down the street on a circle. That looks cool, but on a square or a triangle, it seems a little strange.
Easier for them to roll in and out of the way too, you know, as opposed to other shapes. They're pretty heavy,
absolutely.
So. Also, like from an engineering standpoint, I guess physically it wouldn't be able to fall in, which is a fun bonus. I don't know if that's the actual purpose. I just saw that question. I thought
I'm no engineer. I don't need to.
I just thought that was silly.
Brad, when your physical body no longer is functioning.
So we're talking like 20, 25 years ago. Okay, sure.
Your heart has stopped. Your brain has ceased functioning. What would you like to have happen to your body after your consciousness, whether it is downloaded into a computer, a jar, or hopefully a celluloid being that sort of exists and allows you to continue your consciousness?
Sure.
Brad, what happens to your physical body? What do you want if you could make a wish or if you could have a request? What happens to your physical body after it is no longer functioning?
Donate whatever parts are useful to science or whoever needs them and burn the rest, basically.
Burn the rest.
Yep. Just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. Not interested at all.
Nope. I'll be dead, so I won't care. But I told my wife, like, you know, if we could get whatever donated, I'm an organ donor and all that. It's like whatever is useful, have at it. Other than that, just burn it, get rid of it.
We're done. Burn it to the ground. There you go.
Very sort of practical and boring that way.
It's very, very nice of you, Brad, being an organ donor that way. Very, very nice.
What about you, Kellen? Space launch.
No space launch. I either want a Viking funeral where, again, my whole body is burned, the whole thing that way, or donate my body to a homicide unit so that they can see how my body decomposes so that they can learn, so they can train homicide detectives to be able to say, oh, this body has been dead for X amount of time. I think because I feel like if you die of old age, there's almost so much like the organ donor thing kind of becomes a little redundant. I would rather have my dead body donated to science that can then say, cool, we're going to put this body in a field and we're going to go study it and see how it decomposes. And to me, that feels like intellectually donating my body to science as opposed to like, well, we can't really do anything with these old organs. This guy's been drinking for so long. His lungs are shit. Everything else doesn't work. His brain doesn't work. All right, well, fucking burn all the goo and turn the fat into soap. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Those body farms are real creepy. I got to visit one once and it was weird.
Yeah.
But that's a solid idea. I mean, they need the body. It's good.
They need the body.
It's good that they exist. They're just real creepy.
They are very, very creepy. They need the bodies.
Yeah.
This is what they need.
Also,
what's your big question for us, Brad?
Weirdly kind of feeds into that a little bit.
Oh,
I mean, it depends on how you interpret it, I guess. But
okay,
Kellen, what is the value of human life?
What is the value of human life?
We talked a little bit about it a few streams ago, but we never actually. We said we were going to talk about it, and then we didn't. So I thought I would.
The value of human life. I would say would be expression, right? The reason we're all, and again, I'm speaking as an artist, right? I'm speaking as someone who wants to create and believes that we should. Okay, here we go, folks. I am someone who wants everyone to be open and emotional. I feel like everyone should have the ability to express themselves emotionally. I also understand, Brad, that you might not have any interest in expressing yourself emotionally, and that's fine.
Not a ton.
Not interested.
This is about as close as I get.
Exactly.
This sort of stream.
What I want is I want for people to be able to feel comfortable expressing themselves in whatever fashion that is. If that is writing, if that's music, if that's art, if self-expression is getting yourself tied up and putting spikes in your skin and hanging up from the ceiling, whatever allows you as a person to say, this is how I express what is in me. That is the purpose of human life, right? And I am sad for people who say to me, Kellen, I don't have any way to express myself. There's no way for me to express. I don't have a creative bone in my body. You do. You just need to figure out what that avenue is for you to express it. If it's storytelling, if it's writing code, if it's stealing money from people, whatever you can do that you say, this is how I express what is in me. I think that is the purpose of human life. And yeah, I just think that's what it's all for, is like, get out there and express, like, just go and do those things and try not to do any harm while you're doing it. I guess that would be the hope. And we've talked about this a little bit, I guess, about an open society being able to express themselves. You suddenly are in a situation, Brad, where when someone expresses themselves one way, another person might say, well, I don't like that. I don't think you should be able to express those feelings or those thoughts. And suddenly there is clashing. And I think there needs to be the ability for us as humans. And again, I'm trying to get too Freudian here, is to say, you got to take your ego out of it and say, just because I am expressing my feelings doesn't mean that someone can't also express their feelings. And if we all, and again, this is a little Bill Hicksy here, so be with me here. If we could all just fucking kill our egos by doing LSD and acid and mushrooms, and suddenly we realize that we're just these little blips in the universe, and that our fucking being, our physical body doesn't matter, and we can just express ourselves freely and openly. Suddenly, if you have a different idea than me and I have a different idea and they're in clashing, we can still be humans and exist together and not feel like I need to kill you because your ideas are different than me. Sure. What about you, Brad?
I very much like that description. I would say about $500,000 on the black market.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
No, I'm on board with all of that. But yeah, I thought that you might take it in that direction, so I sort of did some rough math. Apparently, it's about $500,000 on the black market.
Prepared, yes. Oh, it's good to see that there are some Bill Hicks fans in the chat. Great, Not surprised that Tyson and Nick are Hicks fans.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man. Like, if we could all just fucking be better about not needing to kill each other or not needing to kill each other's ideas, boy, wouldn't life just be?
That would be great.
Wouldn't it be a lot easier?
Would be handy. We were talking very briefly before the stream about how people just need more chill.
They just need more chill. They need more chill. And I guess there's a part of me that wonders, Brad, and maybe this is another conversation. Do we need to, wait, maybe this is a big government idea? Would mandatory chillness be something that could help people?
We're hitting like Brave New World. Here's your ration of Soma level. Like, you don't have enough chill. Increase your Soma intake.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that would certainly solve some problems and create whole new ones.
Yeah, it would create a whole new level of issues.
It would make things interesting, though.
It would make things interesting. It would absolutely make things interesting. There is this that fine line between we're giving everyone a gift by making people more chill, and then people being like, actually, you are repressing, and like, it's a little 1984 sort of that way. It's a little Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sounds like it would be problematic in the long run.
Yes. In
But,
the long run.
it would be fun. I mean, people definitely could maybe use a little more ayahuasca in their lives. Maybe
Oh boy.
kill the ego a little bit here and there.
What do we think about this, Brad? Every 5 years, every 10 years, ayahuasca, like government funded ayahuasca retreats with sanctioned people. Like it, I'm trying to think about like, if you're really going to do it, is it a one-time thing, or is it like, no, you do this every decade? You do it at the beginning of the decade.
Right, you got to re-up on your ayahuasca or
Yes,
whatever the clinical DMT variant that the government comes up with to standardize the dosages would be.
Yeah,
I imagine actual ayahuasca would be a little too uneven for the
government. Yeah.
Like, here, have some ayahuasca.
Yeah, Pfizer would have their own ayahuasca pill, and it would like, that's capitalism fucks everything at this point, because we would do this. Big government, big medicine, big pharma would get involved, and all of the good would instantly be killed.
Yep.
Ugh. Anyways,
it would be terrible, but it would be entertaining for a while.
It would be entertaining, yes. Brad,
yes.
What brings you the most comfort in life?
The most comfort. Life. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
The most.
You think about the physical things, you think about the metaphorical things,
good,
you think about the emotional things, the intellectual things. I think about that question, and you think about like, well, the internet is a medium for the things to come to me. So is the internet the thing that brings me the most comfort?
The internet is definitely on the list for me.
Right?
Since it's, I would say maybe knowing that there are people that exist that I can communicate with at a level that we understand each other. Because that was not always the case before I had decent access to the internet.
Well, Brad, it brings me a little bit of joy to hope that potentially I am one of those things that bring
you're definitely on the list for sure.
That is very, very sweet, Brad. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the internet is definitely what brought me those connections.
Yes. But it's
had I been born in a different place, maybe I wouldn't have needed it. I don't know, but I definitely did in my situation, living in the middle of nowhere.
Brad, can you imagine a world without the internet?
Yes, but I don't like it. That's bad. It's a bad thought.
Oh.
It's terrible. I would not enjoy that at all. That would be bad.
Yeah.
I would be one of those library people that just hung out in the library and just read all the time by myself. Because I did that as a kid before I had
nothing wrong with
the internet. That just would have continued, I think, through adulthood, and I never would have connected with humanity.
You'd be like in the microfiche room. You'd be like, "Oh, there's microfiche Brad. Don't bother him."
It would be something like that. It would be urban hermit style, like just leave. You don't want to deal with him. Just let him look at whatever he's doing.
Let him in.
He'll leave at closing time. It's fine. He's not going to bother anyone. But just don't. Just don't.
I love that so much.
Like, he's not going to cause trouble. He's just going to sit in his corner. Like, you don't need to worry about it.
Good. You do not bother him. Like the new librarian shows up and they come and act, and they're like, no, don't talk.
It would be something like that. Is my prediction.
Yes.
If I didn't have BBS access, I guess, and then internet access after that. That was a weird time. Well, dialing into individual BBSs and stuff.
Right.
Before the internet was
good.
Really a thing.
Have internet like Korea has internet, so that's
or like the university has internet. It's like great. That's not helpful.
So good. Yeah. I've got a couple more for you, Brad. What do you want to do? We got this.
I got another just stupid, silly one for you.
Let's bring more stupid, silly.
A quick, stupid, silly one. Why is there braille
on the number pads of drive-through ATMs?
Are you okay?
You can interpret that however you want.
Why?
I imagine there's like a literal technical answer that we could probably
I
give.
believe the technical answer is they're not thinking about it. I think the technical answer is to say, well, they just put it everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Right. It's just the standardized number pad that they just.
I think that's what it is.
Shoot off a bunch from the manufacturer and they put them in all the ATMs. Doesn't matter where they are. There's no context.
Yes, but that's not the fun thing.
No.
I think the fun answer is blind people are tricking us all. No one's actually blind, and it's the longest bit that people are playing on everyone else. And so it's just like, well, people think I'm blind, so I'm driving my car and I have to do this.
Would it entertain you to find out that my next stupid question was, what secret conspiracy would you like to start? There we go. We've solved it
tonight, right?
There's
here.
No
here
such thing as blind people. You heard it here
3rd,
from Kellen. Don't sue me.
From me.
Kellen said it.
And guess what? Next week, Alex Jones on his show is going to be like, "Did you know that blind people aren't real? Brad? Did you know that blind people aren't real? Did you understand that? You understand that blind people aren't actually real?
I mean, they're real. They're just faking it, right?
They're just faking it.
It's not blind.
I've never actually met a blind person.
That would be a whole different thing. Blind people aren't real.
Aren't real.
That's fictional.
Have you met a blind person? I don't think I have. Exactly. They're like vampires. They're not real.
It's fiction.
They're fiction.
You've
Everyone else who claims to be blind, they like sunglasses and they have an affinity or a kink for canes.
It's cosplay. It's Daredevil cosplay.
It's Daredevil. Daredevil, he's not blind.
No, he just can't see. Totally different.
Completely different. Brad, what is the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
The most dangerous thing.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
That I've ever done. Okay, so at the Thousand Islands, one of the larger islands that connects the U.S. and Canada.
Yes.
There is a very large tower that sort of overlooks the Thousand Islands. You can go up. It's like a little touristy, like gift shop, whatever nonsense thing. And it's a giant, giant tower. And you get to the top of the observation deck, whatever, and there's like those viewfinder things you can see and people take pictures or whatever. But there's stairs on the outside of that tower, so you can climb it instead of taking the elevator if you really want and you're a crazy person. And when you get to the observation deck, much like many observation decks, there's a higher area that people aren't supposed to get to because it's the outside of a giant tower without any safety precautions put in place. And so when I was in school for photojournalism, to bring it back to college, one of the pictures that I submitted for a project was a picture of the Thousand Islands from the top of that tower on the outside, not from the observation deck. I climbed up onto the top of the building and got a picture that they're so far away you couldn't even tell the difference. The angle is meaningless. It serves no artistic purpose or functional purpose. There's like if you were really being a picky bastard, you could tell the difference of the angle, I guess. But it wasn't worth it. And I definitely could have fallen, like, I don't even know. I'll have to look up how tall it is, but like hundreds of feet off of this stupid tower onto the roof of the gift shop.
All for a photo.
All for a dumb photo that served really no purpose.
And Brad,
it's not even a great photo.
The artisanship there, I wish I could see the photo. I wish I could see you that age doing that.
It was all digital even back then, so I'm sure I have it. So
I'm sure. I hope one day, Brad, I get to see that photo. I would love to see it.
I could dig it up. Yeah, that's probably the most stupid, dangerous thing that I have ever done. Because had I managed to slip somehow, it would have been pretty bad.
There you go. There you go. Well,
Of course,
Brian,
it would have been fun for like a good second or two, but then it would have been okay. How about you? Danger for Kellen.
oh, the most dangerous thing I've ever done. The most dangerous thing I've ever done. Brad, when I was, I must have been 17. I was a camp counselor as a lifeguard at a Boy Scout camp. And we were in a part of Oregon that a lot right outside of Bend, so far eastern Oregon, not far eastern Oregon, but central Oregon. A lot of thunderstorms, like just these cells would just happen right underneath us. And we would always, again, as a lifeguard, thunderstorms show up, clear the deck, make sure no one's there. And I remember one year, I just kind of stopped caring about it. And I remember seeing lightning strike around. You could see these, again, amazing lightning strikes, and standing there on the dock and grabbing a metal pole and holding it up in the air.
Oh, jeez.
And being a dumb 17-year-old and just laughing maniacally. And just laughing, and people are like screaming at me, like, Kellen, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? The lightning strikes probably 30 feet from me and hits another pole. And the energy, I will never forget what it felt like. It was like in terms of I could feel it in my ears, the energy everywhere in terms of like, oh, this is about to happen. The lightning strikes, and I'm just standing there, and I just laugh and cry. All the most visceral sort of feeling. All my hair is on edge. My eyes are so dilated. There's no more color in my eyes. It was so stupid, but it was still one of those things where I was like, man, I couldn't have done that at any other time in my life. And I'm so glad I did it.
Tyson, testing God with Kellen. There we go.
Today on Testing God with Kellen, we're going to see how many spiders can bite me. Come along.
I mean, it depends on the spiders. Like,
yeah,
some spiders you can get thousands. Yeah. Some you're just going to deal with the one bite, and you're not going to have trouble.
And Brad, that is the second time that lightning has almost struck me too. I'll
geez.
tell you about the other time another time, but that's the second time lightning has almost struck me. So,
yeesh.
Wow.
Gotta stay away from lightning, man. Yeah. It's dangerous.
But I will say this, Brad. It's like seeing a hurricane. It's like seeing a tornado. You see a tornado, you're like, this is a force of fucking nature. There is a part of you, a dumb part of your brain, and I don't know what part of the brain it is that says, I want to go touch that. Right? It's the like, I'm invincible. Like, of course I can do this. This is going to be great. I want to see what happens. Very dumb. You got one more for us, Brad?
Sure. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, here we go. If you were held at gunpoint and told if you didn't impress them with your dance moves, you would be killed, what dance would you do?
Oh,
or God. What dance move, I guess.
Dance move? The Carlton's the first thing that comes to mind, I think. I think I could sell the Carlton pretty well. I feel like as a younger man, a more flexible man, I could probably worm pretty well. But worming, again, if I'm being held at gunpoint, I'm imagining I'm on the street. Worming on the asphalt, pretty painful.
A little harsh. I mean, better than getting shot, maybe, but harsh.
Oh yeah, I'll take my hand scraped up rather than a bullet. Oh golly. Other dance moves that I would do. There was a while where I knew how to tap dance, so who knows? Maybe I would do Lullaby of Broadway, and I'd start shucking and jiving and singing and dancing that way. Maybe that's what I would do. Yeah, I would say one of those 2, 3. I guess Lullaby of Broadway would probably, if we're really talking about
We're trying to be impressive,
we're talking about what's in here, Brad.
Sure. Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
The internet, Hannah. I was cheating. It was on a list of dumb questions on the internet. That's where I got it.
That's where these questions come. Of course, that's where these questions come from. They're wonderful that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a list of dumb philosophical questions that I always pull something from and just go from there. So, Brad, as always, this has been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight? Any other questions and everything else? I've got big questions that are too big for 5 minutes.
Right. I mean, I've got a couple of those too, but we'll save those for next time.
No, for next time.
If anyone is curious, I would just get shot.
I was going to say, you would probably get shot versus
I would get shot. I mean, I could try to do the robot or something, but I'm getting shot is my assumption.
I think that's fine.
I don't think there's a mystery.
No,
there. I'm just
no. Well, that's how you can test, are you bulletproof, right?
Sure.
That's a test that you might not be able to do any other time besides right then. Test it out.
I have not had a chance to test that yet, so that's fair. I'm not knife proof, that's for sure, but bullets, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do the robot. No, not. I see. I'm out of. That's not. I'm not drunk enough for that. No, we're gonna have to. Geez, we're out of time.
Oh, we're out of time.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, Brad. When we,
I will look for that photo. I will look for that photo.
Please do.
Not very impressive, but if people want to see it,
I want to see it. I absolutely want to see it. Brad, as always.
Are there any dumb philosophical questions? I mean, depends on who you ask.
No, there are not. There are not dumb philosophical questions.
Talking to someone with a philosophy degree, I would probably say that doesn't seem likely to be Kellen's opinion about any questions. I will keep my such opinions to myself.
Yeah. The purpose of philosophy is to ask questions. So you cannot equate a good or bad, dumb or smart thing to a philosophical question. The worst philosophical question has the same merit and meaning and purpose as the greatest philosophical question. It is all to fuck you up here.
Sure. And with that, I guess we'll see you next week. Everybody, do the YouTube things.
Please. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around with us. This has been an absolute
crowd
time. Hannah, again, I will tap dance for you, but that's going to cost you a little bit, right? That's for the meetup, right?
Sure.
For when we're all here.
Are we going to need an OnlyFans for this, Kellen? Is that what the direction that this is going?
Brad, starts with the Patreon and then the OnlyFans, right? We have the Patreon's the club, and then if you want to get in the VIP room, that's the OnlyFans.
Sure, fair. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. This was great. See you next week.
See you next week, everyone. Thanks so much.